You know, I went to a lot of funerals as a kid. By the time I was 10, I had gone to 20 funerals, all due to gunshot wounds, heart attacks, and drug ODs. When I was a kid, I used to always say to myself, why does everybody get put in a box? What if you want to go in a nice little Gucci bag? I had a very short uncle that fit perfect in a carry-on. And I had an aunt that was too fat for the box, so fat it wouldn't close. They had to wrap a bungee cord around it to keep it closed. Now, she was someone who didn't need a box. The refrigerator would have been much more appropriate. Well, for one, it would keep the body cool. For two, she would fit. For three, you can pay your respects and grab a refreshment at the same time. Now, when I was young, I used to always say that when I die, I want to be buried boca abajo, face down. Just in case I vomit, I won't choke to death. And then as a kid, I used to always say that when I die, I want a 2-bedroom casket, just in case there's such a thing as el cuco, me and you got a place to chill. And mommy used to always tell me that death was God's way of making the line short at Sears. So every time I went shopping with mommy, I would pray. God, that line is too damn long. Can you kill the last 5 motherfuckers? I'm gonna miss Gilligan's Island. Now, funerals to me was like an adventure. You never knew what the hell was gonna happen. Like at my father's funeral. The best part of my father's funeral was the confrontation with the mistress. Yeah. No matter how nice this lady was, no matter how in need of love she was, no matter how many quarters she gave me to keep my mouth shut, she was still the mistress, La Chilla. And she had no business going to my father's funeral, especially on the last day when it was the most crowded and the most emotional. Now, what was fucked up was that the Chilla looked better than all the women in my family, including my mother. Let me tell you, the Chilla would be decked out looking real hot in a spaghetti strap, tight red spandex dress. Bangs that met her eyelashes halfway on her forehead. Eyebrows penciled so high, it always looked like she was surprised. Red high heel stiletto shoes, open toe even though it's winter because she's Latina. A fake white pearl necklace, and black semi-gloss thigh-high fishnet puta stockings. While my mother and my aunt would be hanging around the funeral parlor wearing clothes that stopped fitting them 6 years ago with 2 new accessories, red hoop earrings and chichos. Now, when the Chilla made her appearance at the entrance of La Funeraria, she always paused by the front door to get the full effect. Now, let me tell you, the Chilla was never a secret. Nobody knew why Papi got shot 3 times, but everybody knew about the Chilla from 5-year-old little Petey. Yo, is that the Chilla, man? She got a nice ass. To great-grandma Jajin. Mira, llegó la Chilla. Esa puta sucia. Oye, me lo dijo Walter Mercado. Métele 7 puñaladas más negras que la noche, ese hijo de puta. Now, the Chilla loved the attention. She was in full command. She starts to strut toward the casket. Now, part of me wanted to tell her that the minute she got 3 feet in front of the casket, all of the women in the family were going to jump up and beat her ass. But I didn't say nothing. I wanted to see that shit. Look, you just knew that in a couple of seconds, legs will be opening, skirts will be ripping, and Titi Juana, with her low-cut blouse, was going to guarantee you that a teta was going to pop out. Now, I know what you're saying, papi. Familia is family. But fuck that. A teta is a teta. Now, when mommy spotted the Chilla, it was like she got the eye of the tiger. Thank you for coming. Thank you for... Mommy signals Titi Petra. Titi Petra runs and blocks the back entrance. She signaled Titi Candy. Titi Candy blocked the side entrance. Mommy was like Mel Gibson in the movie Braveheart when the enemy was getting closer. Wait. Aguanta. Espera. Espera. Now! The minute she crossed that imaginary line, they beat her ass up and down the funeral parlor like she owed the family money. Oye, una pera. Using every Spanish curse word known to man. If you were standing outside the funeral parlor, you would think that the Holy Spirit was in there and people were talking in tongues. Let me tell you, they scratched her face. They ripped off her wig. Titi Elsie started kicking her. Bracata, bracata, bracata. Titi Wanda pulled off her puta stockings, wrapped them around her neck, and dragged her all over the funeral. Titi Juana comes running on top and starts stabbing her with the carnations. And just like we had said, her teta pops out. Me and my cousins, we were on the side going, yeah, teta, yeah, teta. Mommy jumped on top of her, pulled off her shoes, and started cracking her on the head. Blah, blah, blah. Mommy cracked her head open with her own taco. When everything was finished, the Chilla had one shoe on and one shoe stuck in her head. And every time she tried to pull it out, bubble gush out, the bitch had to put that motherfucker back in. She left the funeral with a shoe stuck in her head. I could take a hint. Buenas noches. Una pera, yo. We had heard that 2 weeks passed by, they were still pulling carnations out of her ass. Now, you're probably wondering what's the moral of the story. You're probably wondering what's the moral of the story, right? Are there any Chillas in the house? All right. All right, let's do it like this. If you know of any Chillas, remember the 3-foot rule and to never ever wear tacos to your lover's funeral.